LegacyMaker, the all sports network, presents a SIRTOBA media production where the struggle is real to be awesome.
5, 4, 3, 2.
The wait is over.
So you're giving it to Dale Earnhardt Jr. because he piggybacked off of his dad's name. The only difference is because there was a junior at the end and not a senior.
Yes, and
Okay.
because the fact is, Drew, point with. Oh my God!
I had Miami Heat winning last night. I was upset too when they lost. That's with you because of the fact of what you.
Get your popcorn ready. It's time for the In or Out sports debate with your hosts,
Wilfredo Otero, WIZE JEFE.
and Drew Willingham.
That's right, everyone. We are live with another edition of the In or Out Sports Debate. I'm your host, Drew Willingham, along with this week's special guest from Real WIZE TV and also from Snowman in the Morning. He is host of the Stuck in My Mind podcast, as well as the Poppy J and WIZE Heavy podcast as well. Give it up for Mr. Wilfredo Otero. Welcome to the show, my man.
Thanks for having me, brother. I appreciate this.
Hey, anytime, man. You are here for the 38th edition of the In or Out Sports Debate. And with that being said, we always have to take acknowledgement to the previous participants in the Vault of Fame.
Acknowledge me.
That's right, guys. That's the Vault of Fame right there. 37 editions so far. This is number 38. We are in Double Debate Monday. Earlier today was the 37th edition. Right now, we are in number 38 with WIZE JEFE. You can check us out here on the In or Out Sports Debate on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and Twitch, as well as the audio platforms on Apple and Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Prime, Anchor.fm, and download on iTunes as well. Again, we are here for episode 38 live with WIZE JEFE. Go ahead and take a minute or two, man, and describe, about your shows, your platforms and where they can find you at.
Oh man, Stuck in My Mind podcast. That's my baby. That's what started it all. Yes, there he goes. And it's me having conversations with people. They tell their stories. Usually they have an amazing story, or just I usually have entrepreneurs or coaches, and I just have some great conversations on Stuck in My Mind. And then, of course, we have Real WIZE Radio, where we play music right now. But my ultimate goal is to have as many DJs and podcasts and live shows going on as possible. And then, of course, I do Snowman in the Morning, Thursdays and Fridays, and whenever I get out of my day job, I participate. But Thursdays and Fridays, my days off from my day job, I get to partake. And then, of course, Poppy J and WIZE JEFE, which is now on the BS3 network, which is on Roku. So, yeah, check us out there.
That's awesome, man. Definitely, you got a lot going on. You're a busy guy with all those shows you got, especially with participating in Snowman in the Morning, because that in itself, you guys got a lot of topics that you go over, and I definitely love that show, being on there whenever I can. And just confirmed earlier today that Snowman's going to be on here in a few weeks. I believe it's going to be episode 44. I'm not sure. Don't hold me to it, but Snowman's going to be on here in the next few weeks. We just talked about it earlier today. So shout out to Snowman for coming on back for your second edition here on the In or Out Sports Debate. But right now, here with episode 38, with my man WIZE JEFE, it's time to get into round one.
Round one.
Here with round one, the New York Yankees' mediocre play since the trade deadline speaks volumes for their postseason run. How do you feel about this, Wise? Are you in or are you out on this?
I am out. And the reason I'm out is because I think I'd rather have them go through their struggles now and face all this adversity now and then right the ship and be ready for the playoffs. So, yeah, all right. Yeah, they had a bad August. Listen, they can turn the calendar around and they still have the rest of August to go and then come into September hot.
Yep. I mean, I can see why you're out on this, but I have to disagree, man. I'm in. And the reason why I'm in, I know you're trying to dismiss what they've done in August, right? But they are 5-14 in August, my man. 5-14. Ever since you had the trade deadline, the curse of Joey Gallo going to the Dodgers, and now look what's going on with your team. You're supposed to get Benintendi, who was supposed to be the savior out there in the outfield, because the only thing that was keeping Joey Gallo in the lineup was his defensive play. He was playing terribly when it came to the plate. Offensively, defensively was great. Benintendi has not been what they said. That bill of goods that was sold to them for exchange of getting Benintendi in and getting Gallo out to the Dodgers. The Royals sold them a bad bill of goods, man. I don't know, man. I'm just not buying in on Benintendi. The moves they've made, yeah, they're definitely going to still make the playoffs, but can they still make the World Series? Yeah, because I feel like the National League is stronger than the American League this year. So when you look at that into the equation, I think that they get there by default, but I don't see them winning against a strong National League team.
Yeah, you made a couple of good points. Some people just can't thrive in New York. Joey Gallo was not meant to play in New York City. That's all. Now look at him; he's in layback California, which is it's a big market, but it's California. So you're not. The New York media can be a really pain in the butt, and Yankee fans can be very difficult. Me being one of them, and so yeah, I didn't like the Jordan Montgomery trade. I thought that was stupid on their part, especially pitching is prime in this league. And if you can't have enough pitching and then trade for a player who probably won't see this field to September anyway in Harrison Bader. So that was a mistake. I like bringing up the kid Cabrera. He showed he has a dynamic arm. Let's see what he can do offensively, because IKF, who was supposed to come in, and he's been struggling at the bat and with the bat, and his fielding hasn't been the greatest this year. So
yeah, his fielding hadn't been the greatest, but I'm still with the fact that even though Gallo was horrible, he was horrible with the Yankees, and I take your point with the whole, yeah, the New York media is different. But you're going to California, it's like another country because of how big it is. But there, you have more spotlight on you. There's more porn stars. There's more things to distract you. There's a lot of different things out there in California to distract you. So I don't know, man.
It's more laid back. It's way more laid back in California than it is in New York.
Well, I'll give you that because it's way more uptight. Way more uptight in New York. But at the same time, it's like, I guess you have to be a different breed, because there's been different players that have came in there who have been great players who have still been able to thrive in New York. And I guess Gallo just isn't that. He's just a utility player, I guess.
Listen, he's not. No, it's not that he's. Listen, because look, he's killing it right now with the Dodgers. So it's just certain players. They come to New York and then they just don't perform. He's not the first one. He won't be the last one. It happens. Some players just don't cut it. Look at Sonny Gray is a prime example. He came to New York and bombed. Goes to Cincinnati, turns it around. There's certain players and pitchers that just aren't meant to play in the Big Apple. That's it.
Man, look, playing for the real Steinbrenner who was there for those decades, man. Because think about how bad it would be if they can't handle this. They're all snowflakes. Sports in a whole is pussified compared to what it was back in the day, man.
People would have lost their jobs by now. People would have lost their jobs.
Yeah, tighten up.
if they would have had this kind of August swoon with George, and it would have definitely been heads rolling. I don't think Cashman would have been in office as long as he has. Well,
No.
he did, even though he did. Yeah, we'll see. It would
He hired
have
him.
George is different. He's a different breed.
I think the fact that George hired him is the reason why he's still stuck around as long as he has.
I guess,
So
yeah.
he's one of the last because Jeter's gone. He's one of the last part of the lineage because Aaron Boone is even though he hit that one home run for you guys in that playoff game, he's not as big to the
Oh, he's not
franchise
a
that Joe
legacy
Girardi
Yankee.
was.
He's not a legacy Yankee, no.
Girardi was, and that was the last legacy Yankee besides now Cashman. I guess is the last of the legacy in the front office to keep it all together. But sometimes you gotta let it go and move on. And with that, speaking of moving on, let's take this into round 2 and see what we got here for the next topic.
Round 2.
Here with round 2, keeping it in New York, Daniel Jones will not be the starting at quarterback for the New York Giants by the end of the 2022 season. How do you feel about this, Mr. Otero? Are you in or are you out on this?
I am out in this, man.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, you mean he won't be the starting quarterback, right? I'm out that he's going to be the start. I'm going that he's going to be the starting, right?
Yeah, you're going that he's going to be the starting quarterback. So yeah, if
Yes.
you're saying that he will not be, that you'd be saying in. So if you think he's
Okay,
still going to be the quarterback at the end of the
he
season,
will be the starting quarterback. I think Brian Dable is going to help Daniel Jones out so much, and he has some weapons. It all depends on if that offensive line can gel and get it together, and Saquon Barkley is healthy, because then you open up the running game, you open up the game to play action passing. You have a lot of weapons. Tony, you have Robinson that you just drafted. You have Slayton back. You have Shepard when he comes back from his injury. Bachman played his butt off this past week. I like the young tight end that they have, and that defense. We got some great news with number 5 not having no serious injury with the knee. So I'm excited, but Daniel Jones will be the starting quarterback because I think Brian Dable is gonna help him use the skill set that he has. These like Joe Judge. No disrespect to special team coaches or whatever, because Harbaugh did it, and I guess the Giants thought they could find the same magic. But I think now with Dayball in position and Joe Shane and everybody that's building something different now, because I have a friend at work who he always says, "In Gettleman we trust," and I had no trust in Dave Gettleman. When I saw that the Giants signed him to be their GM, I'm like, oh, I am not happy. I'm like, he did not produce in Carolina. What makes you think he's going to produce in New York? And I guess because he was part of the New York family back in the day, they would go that way, but didn't work out.
that's wild. But with this topic, I do agree with you. I'm out on this as well. You know, what other options does New York really have here to throw in at quarterback? I mean, there was that hype that we were talking about a couple episodes ago, talking about Jimmy G potentially being traded for, but she would be crippling the franchise even more with what you would be trading him, because they don't really have much to offer. And what they do have to offer would be pieces that they need to be building around with this offense and defense, potentially what they would have to move, or draft picks. You know, even though it's kind of hard to put a value on a draft pick nowadays from what it used to be, it's a little bit different nowadays than what it used to be. I feel like it's tough to even make that trade, even at this point, because he has very little preparation. You're not trading for this season, you're trading for next season. And I feel like they completely dropped the ball in San Francisco with this Jimmy G situation, whether it hurts them internally or externally when it comes to moving the player and getting some type of value for him. I feel like they've definitely dropped the ball on this and messing up with this whole Trey Lance and Jimmy G deal. But with the whole Giants, there's nobody else that you can really trade for, because Baker Mayfield is now in Carolina. The Deshaun Watson figure, that situation, we'll talk about that here in a little bit, but that situation's been figured out to where they've got, a backup there, with that. So when you put it all together, they didn't want Baker Mayfield. They had the answer. That's why they got rid of him, with Jacoby Brissett being there. So there's no reason to have him around. There's nobody else that you can actually trade for. You're stuck with what you got. So as long as Jones is healthy by the end of the season, he'll be their starting quarterback. If the only other way this doesn't work is if he's actually injured at the end of the season and they have to go to their second, third string, or just call a guy off of the practice squad to fill it out because they've got 17 games instead of 16 now. So that's my take on it. We're pretty much the same when it comes to Daniel Jones. We feel like he's still going to be the quarterback at the end of the season. But with that being said, this one is for Snowman here with round 3. This one, I put this on here on purpose for you, Snowman. This is for you.
Round 3.
And here with round 3, LeBron James's contract extension was a bad move for the Lakers. But before we get into our pick for that one, let's go ahead and check out this highlight video and show how LeBron James is when it comes to being a team player.
Pretty much played the last 3 games with a broken hand, so that's what it is.
The answer to the question everybody wants to know. LeBron, what's your decision?
In this fall, man, this is very tough. In this fall, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach and join the Miami Heat.
Win championships. Not 1, championships.
Not 2.
LeBron, tell us about that.
Not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7. Hey.
As James misses on the first one, much to the delight of the sold-out crowd. It's their first miss. They were 9 for 9. Leonard comes in and Green will sit.
That they want, they're just not falling through. You had to imagine that it was going to average out.
That one will not drop. James wanted a whistle, not getting back on D. Nets with numbers. Russell will pull and hit.
All right, now it comes down to whether or not the ball definitely is off LeBron James. All right, as the ball almost came to you.
Flagrant? Oh, come on. What kind of league are we becoming if that's a flagrant foul?
The quarter break.
This was a while ago. LeBron and Ty Lue kind of trying to talk it out a little bit. Neither one of them were happy.
See what they got. Gallo.
The real concern right now is LeBron James eventually was carried to the Heat bench. We're trying to get an update as they work on.
This is cramps, Mike. They're trying to get him a...
Durant goes to Kevin Love, pulls up jumper, got it! Kevin Durant with 40.
And that's a great job by Kevin Love defending Kevin Durant, but I'm not going to give you that. I'm not switching Kevin Love onto Kevin Durant. It's a recipe for disaster. Here's my question, why? This is a fake screen to get you to switch. If you're LeBron James, stay connected to Kevin Durant. This is outstanding defense by Kevin Love, but I'm not going to put him in this situation. I'm going to tell LeBron to defend him because Kevin Love, as great defense as he's played, he's still... I like Durant. He says, I don't need a screen. Let me play one-on-one against LeBron.
Now Hood picks him up on the switch.
Shot clock at 5. Kevin Durant way outside. Delivers!
And when you really put all that into perspective, LeBron James' contract extension was a bad move for the Lakers. Are you in or are you out on this there, WIZE Jefe?
I am out of this. So I'm going that it was worth a good contract extension.
Yeah, I guess you're saying that it was a good move.
Oh no, I'm sorry about that. I'm in. I am. It is.
Oh wait, so he's in. He's in.
Oh hell no. I think it was a horrible move. Like you're almost giving them $100 million for 2 years, and you just gave Russell Westbrook a ridiculous amount. You still have this dude still, Anthony Davis still signed to. He just signed to his contract. You're limited now. You're limiting your cap space. Like, what are you supposed to surround them with? Like, obviously, the players you had on the team last year didn't help. You didn't make the playoffs. So, LeBron, you're already a billionaire. Did you necessarily need to take almost $50 million per year?
He's
you could have taken less. You could have taken a break. You could have taken a discount.
Should have. He should have. If he really wanted to get another ring, he cares more about chasing Kareem's, spot as the number one in point scoring. That's why I got to agree with my man here. That's why I'm in as well. When you think about it, when it comes to the cap space, Russell Westbrook is the highest paid right now at $47 million for this team. That's what's really crippling this team. Not just LeBron, but you're not helping it, LeBron, because you were already on site to get $44.5 million for this year, and you just signed an additional 2 years afterwards because this was your final year of your deal with $44 million. So now you add another 2 years, $97.1 million for years 2023-24 and 2024-25, I guess, to set you up for when Bronny comes into the league, supposedly, if he even makes it, LeBron. So I'm there with you, Snowman. All this hype, all of you, what he likes to call bronze sexuals out there, can calm down, because he is not the king of the NBA. He is not the GOAT. And even though that's not what we are talking about in this topic, I'm just going to get that off my chest right now. LeBron James' contract extension, in my opinion, just like in my guy's opinion right here, was a bad move for the Lakers. And it was a bad move for him because, yeah, you're going to break Kareem's record, but you're not going to get a fifth ring while you're playing out this particular contract. You're going to have to go somewhere else when this contract's over and be a utility player to get that fifth and potentially sixth ring if you stick around. But you've got so many losses in the finals. That's why nobody can ever say you're the GOAT. But we can, again, have this conversation at a different time. Right now it's in the contract. And when it comes to this contract, I believe it was a bad move.
I agree.
So with all that being said, we do have some comments we do to acknowledge right here in the middle of the show. And our guy that we were talking about at the beginning has arrived. Let's check it out. Here in the Media Mayhem, we acknowledge the comments, the midway point of the show from the fans. Right now, we have one of our super fans or super trolls, however you want to say it. The Chosen One has shown up and says, "Sup, fellas?" Well, what's up, Chosen One? Thanks for being here on this fine evening. Thank you, Chosen One. Says, Gallo is still trash. He's talking about Gallo being a Dodger, so I guess he's not agreeing with what I said. So, and siding, I don't know who he's siding with, because you were talking about how Gallo was doing great ever since the trade. So just leave that one alone, Chosen One. What's up, WIZE? Calling you, giving you a shout out, I guess, from seeing you on Snowman in the morning. Daniel Jones gets traded for Jimmy G. I don't think the contract would quite work out.
No.
And this is what would happen with that.
Damn!
Because we'd be surprised. We don't see that happen.
No.
don't see what happening whatsoever. So
not at all.
LeBron is the GOAT and my king.
See, this is what happens when I mention that his name and it's not Wednesday. It's not Wednesday.
I think, Chosen One, that you do too much of a certain activity and you give it a bad name for people who actually are pretty responsible for it.
Some good shit.
Stay off the weed.
Now, when you put that in perspective, you're obviously smoking a bit too much if you're going to be saying some stuff like this, Chosen One. I'm sorry, but I'm throwing you under the rug on that one, my man. Why do you guys hate on him so much? Well, if you're already questioning us out and second-guessing us here on the chat, then you obviously are second-guessing yourself there. So you know why we're hating on him. We don't have to give our reason why. I challenge you two to a tag team debate match, me and a partner of my choosing. Just like the last time you said this, like I don't think any of the Rock's promos will ever get old. I don't recall a bad one ever.
No.
Even when he was starting out, they're all better than what the jobber. I mean, not a jobber, but a mid-carder would do. Even his starting out to get to this point. So he's just a once in a lifetime talent. Gotta give it up to the Rock for that one, and for you, Chosen One, for your outlandish comment here to deserve that right there. So. With that being said, we've acknowledged our comments here, the midway point of the show. We now have to take this into round 4 for what I like to call the By the Numbers segment.
Round 4.
And here with the round 4 By the Numbers segment, Curt Schilling is the greatest athlete to ever wear the number 38 in sports history. And before we give our take on that, I've got a little highlight video for us to check and see if you think, based on this video right here, if Curt Schilling is the best to ever wear the number 38. Let's go ahead and check this unit out right here and see what you think, if he is or if he isn't.
Schilling ready with the 1-2 pitch. Strike 3 call to Derek Jeter. The afternoon underway for Curt Schilling as he strikes out the first Yankee that he faces today.
Well, it was clear there that Jeter was looking for something inside, and Schilling, after going inside in the pitch before, right back to the outside corner. You can see Jeter, the backside was not in that one.
Williams strikes out. Schilling begins today with back-to-back days.
Strikeout to Jeter was on the fastball. This is the split-fingered fastball to pick up the strikeout on Bernie Williams. So Schilling had 10 in his last outing, already 2 in this outing.
Clark takes strike 3 over the outside corner. Third strikeout for Schilling, and the Yankees strand 2 in scoring position. Strike 3 called. It's the second straight inning. They have stranded at least a man in scoring position. Strikeout number 4 for Curt Schilling. Strike 3 called. Giambi goes down looking. 5th strikeout for Schilling. Got him that time. Strikeout number 7 for Curt Schilling. A-Rod down by way of the K. The 9th pitch of the at-bat to Derek Jeter. And it's strike 3 to Jeter. He goes looking, and it's the 8th strikeout for Curt Schilling.
Now, Jeter's got something to say to the umpire there, but that's a good pitch. I think he was just fooled.
Third time today, Jeter's down by way of the K.
I think this is more just frustration on Jeter's part, because that's an excellent pitch. Fastball, knee-high, inside corner.
Schilling makes quick work of Matt Stairs. 3rd strikeout for Schilling.
Now, Schilling has mentioned many times that he does not like to waste pitches 0-2. It's a purpose pitch, and this purpose is right on the outside corner.
Gonzalez down by way of the K. 7th strikeout for Curt Schilling. Only 6 home runs to go along with those 100 RBIs. Back-to-back strikeouts for Curt Schilling. 2 down in the 4th. The 0-2 pitch from Schilling. gone. There's Joe Randa. Back-to-back strikeouts for Curt Schilling, 4 in all. This 1-2-3 inning is just on 7 pitches for Schilling. Oh, 3-2 pitch to Swisher. Struck him out, and there is strikeout number 3,000 for Curt Schilling. Only the 14th pitcher in Major League history to have struck out 3,000.
The story with Schilling, the ruptured sheath around the peroneal tendon, his right ankle. A lot of talk about him wearing high tops, that they found the right type shoes for Schilling to pitch with. And the story is he's not pitching with them, as Al showed us out in the bullpen. And the question is that the marcaine itself that they're shooting into that ankle, or blood from the shots? But like a scene from The Natural, Schilling climbs the mound and prepares to take on this Yankee lineup. A 2-2 now. Sierra strikes out, and that's the first strikeout of the night for Curt Schilling.
Once again, the splitter, and watch how Sierra swings over it. A tumbling action, 7 in a row now retired by Curt Schilling.
Another 2-2. Sierra strikes out. Schilling is at 94 miles per hour on that fastball. His best fastball since the first inning, and he blew it by the bat of Tony Clark. A feeble swing by Sierra. He strikes out for the 3rd time, and Game 6 goes to the 8th.
This is like Elvis entering the building, and the fans go crazy for Schilling, and now the Boston Red Sox are taking the field for Game 2 of the 100th World Series at Fenway Park in Boston, Massachusetts. Swing and a miss. Foul, tipped it, I think, into the mitt. And Edmonds strikes out. 2 gone.
He glances back at Schilling, saying, you know what? I just have to tip my hat to you there. That was some kind of pitch in some kind of tough spot. There's the splitter tumbling out, down and away. He got
and got him to swing and miss and strike out. 1 man away in the 5th. Another one to short. Double play. Side retired. Schilling hobbled a bit, but he's still out there with a 4-1 lead. Swing and a miss. He gets Walker on strikes for the 2nd time. 1 man out. Sanders ground ball. That one handled by Miller. A race. He gets there. Side retired. Schilling fired up here. Bad ankle and all. Bad defense and all. If in fact Schilling is done, his pitching line will wind up very similar to Game 6 against the Yankees. That night, 1 run in 7 innings. Tonight, 1 run in 6 innings.
And with that being said, with those highlights there, Curt Schilling is the greatest athlete to ever wear the number 38 in sports history. How do you feel about this, Wise? Are you in or are you out on the fact of this?
As much as this pains me, being a Yankee fan, I'm in on it. I actually did my research. And looked to try to find another number 38 in all sports. The closest I could find was Pavel Dementia of the hockey player. So he sort of wins this by default. I don't think there's ever been anybody, I guess, ever in any sport that's really shined as number 38. So he kind of wins it by default.
I'd have to agree with you on this as well. I'm in on this as well, and by default, pretty much. When it comes to Curt Schilling's career, 20-year career, 3-time World Series champion in 2001, 2004, and 2007. World Series MVP in 2001 with the Diamondbacks. Also was an NLCS MVP when he was playing with the Phillies in '93. He had a very storied career, playing with the Orioles, Astros, Phillies, Diamondbacks, and finishing up with the Red Sox to dominate, unfortunately, a little bit over the Yankees for a short period of time. So I know that's why it kind of sucked for you to have to admit that, for Curt Schilling being the best. Yes. But like you said, the closest one to really do great with number 38 is a hockey player in Demetra. So when it comes to all that being said, you have to hats off to Curt Schilling. The highlight video there spoke enough before we even got to this point. I know it was probably hard for you to sit there and watch that for 5 minutes.
A lot of it had to be with my Yankees, yes.
But, you know, you got to give your credit where it's due when it comes to stuff like that. And when it comes to Curt Schilling being the best to wear number 38, got to give it to him. And I got to surprise my guy here with the bonus round real quick, actually.
Surprise, motherfucker.
And with that surprise, talking about baseball, when I play this video clip right here, you think this swing is pretty smooth? That was yours truly last year, mid-30s, playing baseball, dog.
Oh, man, that was a good swing.
Thanks, my man.
I heard you could hear the ping on it. That's what you know.
That's when you know you got full contact. Take it for a nice little ride.
I love when I used to get the ping.
That's like the most rewarding spot right there, is just being able to pull in moments like that, especially like at an age where I'm not supposed to be doing this stuff anymore. So definitely the career is winding down there. I'm having more fun doing this and you know, building a future with this too. So you have your days in the sun with other things, and sometimes it's time to move on. But with that being said, speaking of moving on, we have one more topic left. We have to go into the final round here on episode 38 of the In or Out Sports Debate. Let's check this out with WIZE LGC.
Final round.
Here at the final round, Deshaun Watson's punishment of 11-game suspension is not severe enough by the NFL. And when you put everything in perspective, looking back on what happened with him in Houston and what he's did in his first preseason game with the Cleveland Browns, let's take a look and see what they're missing out on for this 11 games. And do you think it could potentially be longer? Should it be longer? Not potentially, but do you think it should be longer? Let's check out this highlight clip of how he did in that first game and see for yourself. What do you think while pondering this question?
By Rudy Ford, one of the best down the field cover man's on kick teams around the NFL.
I mean, he showed up his first one down there, made a great job of penetrating. They can't do the wedge, but he penetrated the coverage. Did a great job making the first initial hit, but plenty of Jaguars there to clean it up. Now we get a chance to see the defense, and the focal point of the defense, stopping the run. And this is one of the best running teams that you'll face in the Cleveland Browns.
They averaged over 5 yards per rushing attempt last year. Ernest Johnson, South Florida product, used the setback. And his play action, Watson's rolling out, finds a target, overshoots the intended target. He was looking for Anthony Schwartz, and it fell between Schwartz and Donovan Peoples-Jones, incomplete.
Yeah, incomplete. This is a great play action fake. This is what the Browns do. You think about Kevin Stefanski, part of this Shanahan system, a lot of boot action. Schwartz is running wide open over the middle of the field. He missed him, but then we got 2nd and 10. Let's see what the defense does.
You think that was heartbeat thing?
Oh, absolutely.
Excited to throw his
I don't
first
care
pass.
how long you played. You haven't played in a year. There's some anxiety that comes with playing.
Harrison Barnes, the tight end, slides in motion. Back to throw. Watson in the pocket, turns and slings the ball and misses his target. Went back to Schwartz. Schwartz couldn't pull it in near the 19-yard line. 3rd down and long. So here's the pass rushing situation that head coach Doug Peterson said his team had to earn.
He absolutely talked about them needing to earn the opportunity to rush the passer. And so we talk about the pressure right up front. Man, we just great pressure, good push, got a little hit on the quarterback. All of those things, all of those little hits matter. Love the penetration initially. Gotta like that. Roy Robertson Harris being able to get.
And so it's 3rd down and 10.
So money down, this is where you want to see Trayvon Walker, Josh Allen. You've earned it right. You have a 3rd and long situation. Can they come off the edge and create a little chaos?
4 receivers, and Watson in the shotgun with Ernest Brown. Here's the inside handoff, and Brown is caught by Chad Muma. He manages to get back to the inside and get something from nothing, but it's going to be 3rd and long.
That is a great job by the Jaguars defense. Little pressure, Rayshon Jenkins coming in.
Defense is delivered.
Absolutely, did a really good job. Been winning on early downs, but you set them up to be able to get after the passer on later downs. Let's see, because now you got even Steven balls up 25. Deshaun Watson coming out. I am sure Kevin Stefanski wants to get this offense untracked.
2 drives, and the Browns have 4 total yards. Here's 1st and 10 at the 25. Javonte Moffitt is the back. tries to bounce it outside to the left, and Tyson Campbell meets it. Moffitt manages to push it up for 4 yards.
Ooh, got a penalty.
And a flag comes from the line judge. Carl Cheppers and the crew talking it over.
Holding, number 11, offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Got the receiver, Donovan Peoples-Jones on that one.
So the backed up situation, another favorable opportunity for the defense. This gives you a chance to be able to get up the passer. Here we go, coming in. What I did, Donovan Peoples there holding, but what I like about that is Tyson Campbell setting the edge, making sure that the ball doesn't get outside.
1st and 20 at the 15-yard line. And Watson's in the shotgun with 4 receivers. Dumps it off underneath. The catch is made. And there is Foye Aluakon and Josh Allen to wrap up David Njoku, the tight end.
Yeah, good job. Long yardage situation. Fell back into a nice little soft zone. What you want to do is force the check down, but as soon as the ball is caught, you want to rally and tackle. That is the win for the Jaguars defense.
Chad Muma was right there as well. 2nd down and 13. 22-yarder. Empty backfield for Watson. A single high safety for the Jaguars. And movement along that offensive front. Will take away 5 of those hard 7 yards earned.
Yeah, look, I couldn't help but laugh. I'm looking out there. They go Indy formation, and I look at that monster, Trayvon Walker, walking out to the slot. You just don't see guys at that size being able to do the stuff that he's able to do. I mean, it's crazy. In the slot. Crazy.
The thing that's so amazing about him is how big Josh Allen is and how much bigger Trayvon Walker is. Josh Allen's a big dude. Trayvon Walker is bigger. Here's 2nd and 18. Pressure coming.
Oh, there goes
Watson trying to get outside. Turns and fires a pass, and it's off the hands of Anthony Schwartz, incomplete, but this one's coming back.
Look, it's coming back.
Is the call.
I think this is on Trayvon Walker. Trayvon Walker, we saw last week, used power. Came right at him with the bull rush. Now he hits him right up inside and slips inside.
71 offense. Penalties decline. 3rd down.
By the way, that's 84 both coming off the edge. By the way, Arden Key sacks last week is in the middle of that defense, standing over the center. And there's a short throw.
Yeah.
I mean, that throw is at the feet.
That's the fun part. So this is the fun.
The feet of Demetric Felton.
You're already able to kind of change the rhythm and the timing of the quarterback because.
And with all that being shown there, Deshaun Watson's punishment of 11-game suspension is not severe enough by the NFL. Do you want to see more of that play on the field there, Wise? Do you think he should have gotten more? Are you in on the fact that he should have gotten more?
I'm out.
Or are you out? He is out.
And the reason I'm out is because, yes, he was not found, like they are not pressing any charges. Obviously, the law enforcement didn't feel like there was enough evidence to prosecute. And so now we're going off of the court of public opinion. And everybody's got the ideas, oh, he should go serve a whole year or whatever. And again, it's these women against him. I get it. It's up to 40-something women now, but when are you going to hold the Texans responsible for this as well? Because all this didn't come out until after he asked for a trade from the Texans. So the Texans knew a lot of this was going on. I'm sure they were supplying his need. I'm sure they knew what they had over there. So again, and then of course they settled with women out of court as well. But they're not facing any. They're not losing any draft picks. They're not facing any suspension. So I'm happy with the number that he got. People might whatever, but listen, it's he said, she said. There's no. I guess you could read the transcripts, and I guess he jerked off on a few of them, whatever.
Skeet.
Yeah, skeet, definitely. and so, to me, no. I'm happy with his 11 game suspension, fine $5 million. It's all right. He's making 240 something million.
Well, even though he skeeted himself all over the place and caused some problems, I think I have to agree. I'm out on this as well. You know, when you put it all into perspective here, he didn't really get caught with much. I mean, yeah, he did do some inappropriate things. That's why he got 11 games suspended. He already spent all last year out because he had discrepancies with the front office of the Houston Texans. So he's already lost a year of his career already. Now he loses a year and a half. So he gets the playing time. He got to show the Browns fans what they would have, or at least bits and pieces, because you get that for a few weeks, and then he's gone for, 2.5 months. So almost 3 months at that point. 11 months is almost 12 weeks. So in my opinion, he's gone for about 3 months. So that's still a long time. 90-day suspension pretty much is what you're facing here. And that's a long time to be gone away from football. Are you going to be doing a lot this season? I don't think so. Jacoby Brissett's a good backup, but I don't think that he's going to carry this team through, what would be like a 6-5 start out, to be like or like a 7-4 start to give them a hope of being towards the top of the division, or at least a wild card spot. I don't see that being the case. I don't see them winning 6 out of the first 11 games with Jacoby Brissett. So I think with all that being said, going back to the original statement, when it comes to Deshaun Watson's punishment, I believe it's enough. I believe, you don't do the time if you can't do the crime. I mean, don't do the crime if you can't do the time, obviously. But that's how I feel when it comes to this situation. And he got caught doing some inappropriate things. He's going to serve a suspension, even if you try to appeal it. I feel like this is still fair enough. Don't be grasping at straws here when you could be facing a lot more if you try to appeal it or whatnot. So just go ahead and take your suspension. Take your licks, my man. With that, Deshaun Watson, it was definitely inappropriate, and I hope you get some counseling and learn from this, because that's what a part of this, apparently, the suspension's about. He's getting some counseling and stuff, which, everybody finds their own ways to get their releases, but you gotta be smart about it, and, have a partner in the tango, and not however many the number was, 60 or 70 of them. Like, it was insane.
It's a ridiculous amount. Listen, dude, hire yourself a masseuse who doesn't mind that, who doesn't mind getting skated on. And like, hey, you paid me extra, you skeet on me. Hey, okay. You can always listen. You can always find someone. Believe me.
Yeah, especially you travel enough. I mean, you got the money. You can travel anywhere. So I don't understand what the problem is.
Hire somebody on your staff. Have your own personal, I guess, dick jerker.
I guess you're in tugging pool. I guess I don't know.
I guess, yeah,
I don't know. But it's Deshaun Watson. You got to figure that out, man. You got time to figure that out. You got another 90-day vacation, or however you
got plenty of money. You got plenty of money.
They paid you the minimum this year on that contract because they knew that you were going to be getting some type of suspension this year. So you don't start making your money till next year in your deal. So it is what it is when it comes to that. But now that we've gone through 5 rounds here on episode 38 of the In or Out Sports Debate, it's time that we acknowledge. It's time that we acknowledge here for the Vault of Fame. It's time that we acknowledge that WIZE JEFE has joined.
Acknowledge me.
It's time to acknowledge that Wilfredo Otero, WIZE JEFE, is now locked in the vault with episode 38 here on the In or Out Sports Debate, joining the list of participants that we showed here at the beginning of the episode here for the 38 editions of the In or Out Sports Debate. Don't forget next week, or not next, up next tomorrow on Double Debate Tuesday, you can check out episode 39 with Hugh Scott of the Wrestling Realm. Episode 39 tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. My apologies, with episode 40 being at 8 p.m. tomorrow with Dwayne Allen of the Wrestling Realm as well. You can always check out the In or Out Sports Debate here on Mondays and Tuesdays on the LegacyMaker Sports Network, as well as the handles listed previously on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and Twitch, as well as the audio platforms spoke about earlier in the episode as well. There's only one thing that we have left to go over, and that is the final round here on the In or Out Sports Debate. But before that, we want to give acknowledgement to the fans before we roll out. and that is with the Mayhem culmination. And here with the Mayhem culmination, our guy, the main commenter earlier, is back. The chosen one says, "I will layeth the smackdown." I guess he was responding to the video and also talking about Curt Schilling is the GOAT because nobody else has succeeded at that number. We can't even really argue with you on that one there, chosen one. You do have a good point. We were talking about that earlier. Watson just did what anyone would do in this situation. I don't know.
Yeah, no.
Whoa. Yeah, that's. I'm surprised at that too. I don't see. That goes back to this.
Stay off the weed.
I mean, even Stephanie McMahon wasn't that bad in the day when The Rock had to say this.
You think you're really special because you've cashed in on the services of one Stephanie McMahon Helmsley. A $2, no. 50 cent, no. Buy two, get one free. Does anybody have change for a nickel? Grab it. What? Change for a nickel?
I could watch him cut promos all day.
I could. That's why I just don't get it, chosen one. That makes no sense. You know it would be Jesus. Watson equals legend on and off the field. Acknowledge me. Well, I'll acknowledge that. And in the words of Charles Barkley himself.
That's terrible.
It is.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
I mean, just because we just don't have time for it. It's like Samuel L. Jackson too.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
Well, we're acknowledging you with English. We just don't know what kind of English you're talking about, chosen one.
Yes.
So it's trolling. You've gotten out of control, and I guess you're thanking us for acknowledging you. I don't know. That's what you just said. But thank you, chosen one, for the entertainment as well. Throughout the comments of the show. We only have one more thing to go over, and that is the final word. And here with the final word of everything we talked about in the 5 rounds, the highlight videos, the topics, just anything in sports in general there, WIZE. What do you have to get off your chest here at the end of the show with the final word?
Check us out. Check me out on Snowman in the Morning every Thursday and Friday, but definitely check out Snowman in the Morning Monday through Friday. Check out my podcast, Stuck in My Mind podcast. It's on all major platforms. Check out the video and audio version. YouTube is Stuck in My Mind podcast. Check out Real Wise Radio. That's www.realwiseradio.com. Right now we're having some technical difficulties, but the website should be back up in a couple of days. And Poppy J and Wise, El Jefe. Friday nights, 10 p.m. Central, 11 p.m. Eastern Time on the BS3 network. Definitely check us out there. And that's about it. I got some other projects in the work, but they're not really ready yet.
You're definitely killing it, though, man. I definitely like what you guys have been putting together, working together with Snowman. Snowman is a dear friend of us over here at the LegacyMaker Sports Network. We've done some collaborations together. I've been on his show, as you've seen, you've been a part of. That one time that I was on the show where he couldn't make it or whatnot, he was on my show later that evening, but you and Cole were there. We just started talking, and once I brought up professional wrestling, it went on for 45 minutes. It's one of my favorite. When people ask me, I've been asked a couple times since then, what's my favorite one I've done so far, especially a guest appearance, is that one where you get on there, you're not sure what to expect, and we just start talking about professional wrestling, just kind of going on with it for a while. So it's good to have conversations like that for a little bit. You just don't know what to expect. You just kind of got to wing it. So
no, because you always find someone you be amazed at what unites people. And wrestling is a big thing. Wrestling, I am a huge wrestling fan. Cole is a huge wrestling fan. Brian is a huge, and so it's cool that when you also start meeting, you're a huge. You could tell you're a huge wrestling fan. So wrestling fans find each other. Like we find each other, and we can always find what you can. We all have like our eras. Like for me, it's the Attitude Era. Even though I grew up watching Ric Flair, and to me, Ric Flair versus Sting at Clash of the Champions 3 is the greatest wrestling match of all time. That to me was what made me love wrestling, was that match. And so everybody has their moment, but I'm definitely an Attitude Era guy, and anytime I get a chance to talk about wrestling, I just love it.
Yeah, I got a late start to it, but watching movies and stuff, and I like Jim Carrey. It was funny, back in the day when I was a kid. And I'll kind of like, piggyback off what you were saying with your final word or whatnot. We'll just continue this on. When it comes to this professional wrestling, I got into it late, and not until around the Attitude Era time. I didn't watch it when I was like really, really little, but around the Attitude Era time, the movie Man on the Moon came out, and Jim Carrey played Andy Kaufman or whatnot in the movie. And even though the reviews for the show wasn't all that, for the movie wasn't all that great, it still kind of caught me because I was a Jim Carrey fan because he was funny and stuff. And I was like, I'll check out this wrestling movie or whatnot. And I started watching on TV. It was the Attitude Era then. It was like 98 when this was all going on. So I got there like end of 98, beginning of 99. So around where it was like building and growing. So I got to see all that. So I got there in the perfect time. But I've been a fan ever since, man. Like I love wrestling. It's been through some dark times. Right now is an exciting time in professional wrestling with AEW and everything that's been going on with that. But,
and with Triple H taking over, yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, which is going to be big. We're going to be talking about that tomorrow night with the episode 39 and episode 40. And just like you were talking about, let me go ahead and give one more plug in with that. Tomorrow's Double Debate Tuesday, which is up next, episode 39. Hugh Scott of the Wrestling Realm will be here tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. Eastern here on the In or Out Sports Debate. Tomorrow, episode 40. We'll be here at 8 p.m. with Dwayne Allen of the Wrestling Realm. We'll be here to talk another bunch of wrestling topics here on the In or Out Sports Debate. Mondays and Tuesdays, you can find us here on the LegacyMaker Sports platforms with the handles listed below as well as the audio ones. We are here in episode 38. My man WIZE LFA finally made it on here to talk to some sports with 5 great rounds here tonight. Thank you again, brother, for being here tonight for episode 38. Thank you for the comments there, Chosen One, and being our main supporter here tonight. Without you fans, without you guys, whether it's watching it live or afterwards, we wouldn't be here without you. So thanks again for doing it. Everybody, thank you again. Please share, like, and subscribe. For my man WIZE LFA, I am Drew Willingham. Stay safe out there in these streets and check out this badass outro on your way out.